welcome back to the Voice of Product. Here we got the TruPorte sliding glass doors for closets. This is at Home Depot. They're about 189 bucks. I'm gonna kind of show you the ins and outs of installing this. I'm gonna show you the instructions and then maybe even give some advice to manufacturers to see a better way of doing this. I've installed many different things in my life and it just still boggles me today how manufacturers, AKA maybe the Asian manufacturers, don't figure out these small little things to make a product way better. So here we are. This is for a 36 and 80, but I actually have a 36 wide by 80 and a half from the floor all the way to right here. So I have a little lip here. I'm gonna take this guy out and I'm gonna use my multi-oscillating tool, my favorite tool, and I'm gonna just kind of zip across here as best I can, and then I'm going to see if it fits in here. So here's a time lapse of me doing that now. So here we go. Open this package here. Okay, so the top of that to those wheels is pretty much 79 and a quarter. So I roughly have 79 and a quarter. Oh my god. What, like an inch and a quarter? Huh? Because it says up to an 8. Where's these instructions at? In the middle. Don't do that. So those are the tracks. So there's gotta be instructions somewhere. There's gotta be instructions. All right, well, no instructions. Weird. It might make you go online and do it. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crappy. It's kind of crappy. Let's see here, what's changed? Okay, so they've changed a little bit since the last one I've done. This is the top rail where the wheels sit in. This is the protection plate, or like I guess the finished plate to make it look nice. Just go across here. As you can see, I'm gonna have to probably cut a little bit off, which sucks, but oh, maybe not. But is what it is. And then let's hope you fit on the inside. Oh, here's instructions right here. Right here. Always complications, always complications. I don't know what the easiest route to go here is, to cut the metal or to cut the wood. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut the metal, honestly. I just need to take like a sliver off, like a sliver. All right, first thing it's saying is to snap in the fascia to the top track. See these little notches right here? Little notch right there. It wants you to clip this lip into that. So it should just kind of sit inside of that. Also be very careful. The metal around this stuff is super sharp. There's 3 clips or 3 slots. There's like one here, and one here if you can see. I don't know if you can see or not, but all right, so I actually ended up just kind of cutting off a little bit of the side here. It's kind of my mistake. I should have did the other side to hide it. You know, you always want to kind of hide your cuts if you can. I made a mistake when I went there and started grinding the metal down, but I grind it down like literally perfect to the like thousandths of an inch. So she's sitting there nice and good. So it says that they want 3/16 from the top of the fascia to the front of the trim there. I'm doing a little bit of a different way. So the reason why they're saying do 3/16 this to the edge there is because now when you're putting in the bottom track, they are actually saying that they want you to have an 1/8 or 1 inch and 1/8 of room from the bottom of the track to the front there, so then it would line when it gets to the bottom. Now I'm gonna do it a different way. I mean, there's probably a way you can do it with a laser, which would be awesome, but I'm actually gonna pre-hang the doors first, and then I'm gonna let it just hang naturally by the gravity, and I'm gonna have the track underneath, and hopefully that I can just kind of have the natural position where it sits, and I'll know where to put the track, essentially. Now, I don't know if this is gonna work. I hope it does, but let's see what happens. Now what they want you to do is you pretty much just hold this up against, and you pre-mark the screws where you're gonna have the track sit. You pre-drill them, give them a pilot hole, and then you screw in the screws after. So here's a time lapse of me doing that now. All right, well, as you can see, they're all in. They give you 5 screws to put in there, 1.5 inch. Now what I always say too as well is I always like to kind of put them in first and I don't fully tighten them, because that way that by the time I start moving my way across, that the holes still line up, because sometimes what will happen is you'll tighten it in and then now you can't move the track because the holes are now not aligned by the time you get to the other side. So you want to always just kind of have them loose fitted so that you can still move the track around, and then you can obviously tighten them when they're all in so that you know that you're perfectly aligned. Of course, always something new, something I forgot. Maybe it's my fault, maybe not. This little spot right here, this track can't make it. So I think I'm just gonna use my oscillating tool and just kind of zip a little bit off here. That's probably gonna be the faster way than having to go and grind off metal again. So here we go. All right, so here we go with already kind of an issue manufacturing here. So the first thing is when they make you put this fascia up here, this plate, you see that gap there? There's like almost a ½ inch gap, right? So what I would have proposed is that gap there is so big, it doesn't need to be that big. They could have made it a little bit smaller so that it could be a little bit tighter like that. So you don't have like maybe 1/4 of an inch. And it wouldn't have messed with the closet door. You couldn't really screw it up because it's fixed in. So it's pre-manufactured. They already know no matter what you do, this little lip here will always be the same as long as you have the same system where you clip it in at the back there. So they could have already did that. Now the reason why that's an issue is because when I'm lining my doors down, it looks nice and clean. But the problem is this track sits back like this onto the door. So if it would have had a little bit more tolerance, it would have been like that and it would have looked a little bit cleaner on the backside here. Like ideally, I'd love for it to be straight like that. Make it nice and straight and even, but that won't work. So this door right now is hanging on the front track. So if it's hanging on the front track, that's where it's gonna sit, so which won't work. So the door that comes on behind it is gonna sit like around here. So like they made a mistake already on these little manufacturing issues that I don't know what happens. I've used these doors before, not necessarily by this company or this brand, but again, they're always changing these doors and brands and stuff, and they're always different. But the ones I had before, it wasn't an issue. It was literally, they had it right to the front. It was nice and flush. And actually what happened was before, the track and the fascia was all one piece. So it eliminated that issue. But to me, it looks kind of weird, but I guess it's at least inside of the closet that's not the biggest issue. But again, little small things here. This laminate flooring, they say it needs to breathe, right? So you're not supposed to have anything really glued down or screwed down. So what some people will do, they'll either make the hole bigger so that there's a little bit of like I guess play, we'll say, in case it does want to move around. I'm actually going to take all these screws off, just kind of push the doors back, get a bigger drill bit, and I'm going to drill out that hole so it's nice and wide. So what it'll do is, in case the floor wants to move, it can still have a little bit of play around the screws. Now, it's a small detail. I've never had any issues before, but again, this is also little small steps that I've taken to make sure this stuff doesn't happen. So, I mean, you do what you want. It's gonna take me an extra, like, let's say 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Will save me a heartache later on down the road of, floor separating and whatnot. She's all in, she moves nice. Now, the only thing is it needs to be adjusted. So you can see there's little gaps here, and the adjustment is actually very easy. As you can see, this one is really off. Essentially what's gonna happen is that you're gonna see me, I'm gonna adjust the screws in the back to make this door fit nice. So to adjust the screws, this little screw system right here. So what you do is you either turn it right or clockwise to make the doors go down, or you do it counterclockwise to make the doors go up. No, sorry, it's opposite. It's opposite. So when you tighten it, it'll actually bring the doors up, and then when you loosen it, it'll bring the doors down. So essentially what happens is, because I need to make the one side, I need to make the top corner go over. And then what I need to do is I need to bring up the left side and potentially drop the right side over here. There you have it. Doors work perfect. One side's gonna be nice and straight. Right, and this one goes on that side, so they're meant to be on that side. But the second that I move the I guess I can't make that any more straight. There's a gap down there. I might level it just a little bit just to kind of have it even, a little bit of gap up there, the same kind of gap down there. It's not that much. It's only like 16th, maybe an 1/8 of an inch at the very bottom, but not that bad. She's pretty much ready to go. Not too bad. Little small adjustments. One more thing is don't forget to take the plastic off. That's one thing I'm very famous for. Leaving the plastic on. Super satisfying. Here we go. This is another review. The voice of product. Honestly, these doors are not terrible. Some small things. I would give them at least a 7 out of 10. If this can stand the test of time of with tenants, then it's definitely a good product. And I'd give it at least a 9 or 10 after that if it does stand up at least a couple years. So make sure that you subscribe and like the video, share it with your friends. I mean, I'm always doing this stuff to learn, to make myself better for everything, for videos. I mean, I'm all over the internet. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff, trying to figure it out. But I mean, I love to hear any kind of thing. So see you in the next one, guys.